it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and I have this little basket project for you today. It's very sweet, and it is an origami inspired basket, and then I put a unique handle on it. It kind of reminds me of one of my Longaberger baskets. Then I used the pretty label punch to make a sweet little label for it, and it holds 4 chocolate eggs. Now on this one I made another version which is more like a Mother's Day one. Even though it has the chocolate eggs in it, you can put anything you want in there. But the paper I used on this one was the Pretty Petal Garden Designer Series paper, and it took a 6 by 6 inch piece of paper. The basket itself was 4 inches by 6 inches, and the handle was 2 inches by 6 inches. So if you like the same pattern on the paper like this one, you can use the entire same paper and use it for your handle and your basket. As I did on this one as well, I just turned the handle inside out so that you show the other pattern on it. If you can see, the flower pattern is on the underneath. And for this next one, I'm going to use a piece of paper from Delightful Daisy. Now I'm going to use the pattern section for the basket part of it, and I want the more subtle pattern to be the handle of it, just like I did on this one. So we'll start with a 6-inch piece of paper, but you only need 4 by 6 inches for the basket and 2 by 6 inches for the handle. And you can do the handle out of cardstock as well, although the basket I would make out of the paper because it's easier to fold. In origami, the papers are a little bit thinner because there's a little bit more folding involved with that. You'll also use the pretty label punch to make the little label. And on this one I'm going to use the Pool Party shimmer ribbon on that one. And because I'm doing a birthday version, I want to use the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set because I'm going to use a flower, the smaller flower, 2 parts, the leaf, and a little celebrate. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so I have my 6 by 6 inch piece of paper, and if there's a pattern I'd like to go along the handle, then I'll cut along that side, but because this is an overall general pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this 2 inches off over here. So I have 2 by 6 inches for the handle, and while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and score that right in half lengthwise at 1 inch. And we'll put that aside for a minute. I'll take the 4-inch by 6-inch piece, and with the 6-inch side up on each end, I'm going to score it at 1 inch and 2 inches. So 1 inch is over here because it's easier for me to line it up on that side. And then 2 inches on this end. Okay, and then on this end, 1 inch, 1 inch. And then I'll swing that one around and do 2 inches. And then what you want to do is score it on the 4-inch side, and you want to score it at 1 inch on each side. Let's put our trimmer away, but I do have a few more scores to make. But let me go ahead first and fold and burnish these score lines so they'll be easier to see. Alright, so what we have is a 2 by 2 inch square right in the middle of it. And on each corner of that, there is a 1 by 1 inch square. On each of those 1 by 1 inch squares, we are going to score from the corner of that 2 by 2 inch square diagonally out. So we're going to go radiating out on all 4 corners. And I use a little metal ruler and my scoring tool. And just score from the 2 inch corner out diagonally. And you can do that on this side as well, this corner as well. Now we're just going to fold those out. Just fold this side in and then just fold this end down while pinching that one fold line. because those are going to come around the outside of our basket. Do the same thing on this one. Fold this down and pinch this one around. And really get that corner well, because that helps when you fold the basket up. Alright, so this way as well, we'll fold that side in, fold that end down, and that corner really kind of falls into place. And one more time, fold this side down and then just fold this end down and pinch that corner into place. Alright, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and make our baskets. So on the side that you want out, and actually I'm doing this side out, so I probably should have been pinching it the other way. Let me just quickly get these going the right way. I did that on my last time too. This is actually take 2 of my video, so this time hopefully I get it right. Alright, pull this one up. Although I must say it looks pretty on both sides, because that's the outside of it, the other one I did. Alright, so pull your sides up and then pinch these folds with a diagonal on the outside and wrap that around on both sides. Alright, and then we're going to take that 2-inch rectangle and fold that over and down. Go to one of your sides, kind of adjust that fold until it looks a bit better, until the score line is on the top. And fold that one down. And if you need to pinch the corner a little bit, because you are folding, 2 layers together, so it will be a bit bulky. And then just go ahead and do the same on the other side. Now, what may happen, or what probably will happen, is that this edge is not going to line up exactly with this bottom. Because you're folding it over and there'll be a little bit of bulk in there, that's okay. If you want to, you can adhere both of these flaps down. It is an origami, and usually you don't have to do that in origami. It will hold together. So that's just your preference if you want to or not. Alright, we're going to do the same thing with this one. Fold the sides up so that you have your angles folded over and sticking out. And then go ahead and wrap that right around on both sides. And then I bend it over a little bit and just fold that one 2-inch piece down. Alright, so fold that down and then snug that over and fold that one down as well. And then you can pinch your corners to make them square again. And there's our basket. Isn't that sweet? Alright, put that aside for a minute and we're going to work on the handle. Now, the handles I cut on these were a bit of a free-form handle, although there is a little bit of measuring. Now, I want this side to be on the outside, so I'm going to actually fold it in for the moment. Because when I make my marks, I want them to be on the underside, just in case I don't get them out all the way. Alright, I'm actually going to use a black marker, and you wouldn't do this, you'd use a pencil or something, but I want you to be able to see the marks I'm making. Now, let's see, here I have a mock-up of my handle. This is a 2-inch piece, and it's folded in the middle. Now, how I mark it is on the fold line, I will mark it at just 2 inches and 4 inches. So I have this one here, and on the fold line, as I said, this is the inside. I'm going to fold it around the other way. I will mark it at 2 inches and 4 inches. So you can see my marks. I will turn it around onto the open end and mark it at a 1/2 inch in from each side. Now, I'm giving you rather specific measurements. This really doesn't have to be exact. The handle is a little bit free-form. This does not have to be an exact replication. Actually, it looks rather rustic how you do it, so I think it come out very nicely however you do it. Alright, so our last mark, we made 2 inches on the fold side, 2 and 4 inches. We made a 1/2 inch in from each of the ends on the unfolded side. And then on the end, I'm going to take 3/8 of an inch in from that open corner. I have my open corner, and I'm going to mark 3/8 of an inch in. So let me take that down here, 3/8 on this one. And I'm going to do it because I'm turning it around the other way, but I still want you to see it. I'll use the 8 mark for this one. So 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch in. Alright, so those are my marks that I'm making. Let me flip this over to this side. So there's my 2 inch and 4 inch mark. There's my 1/2 inch from each end mark. And there's my 3/8 of an inch in. First thing I'm going to do is cut from that 3/8 of an inch up to the 2-inch mark on that side, and from the 3/8 to the 4-inch mark on this side, and this is the folded side. And as I said, it sounds complicated to explain it, but it really goes quickly. It's really not that complicated. Okay, so that's my folded side before I cut it. And I'm going to cut from there to there, just from that mark to that mark, and from this mark to the end mark as well. All right, so just like that. The next step we're going to do is we're going to actually cut from that 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to kind of angle a little bit, but never get any closer than a 1/4 inch to our other one, because I don't want it to get too thin. A 1/4 inch seems rather nice. And then when you get up here, you can get a little bit less, because when you unfold it, it will be a little bit thicker anyway. So what I did is I cut it up to where this 2-inch mark was, kept it about a 1/4 inch away, cut it straight across to this 4-inch mark, kept it about a 1/4 inch away, and then cut right down to that 1/2 inch mark. So here's where we are. So here's my 2-inch mark. I'm just going to cut it kind of an angle up there. Then I'm going to straighten it and cut it right across this way to where the 4-inch mark is. And then I'll just cut it right back down to the 1/2 inch mark. And as I said, it's not really an exact, it doesn't have to be exact. The handle's going to look very cute, but that's what we get. We end up getting this. All right, and how I'm going to put it on is right where that 1/2 inch mark was up on each side of it, I'm going to glue from a 1/2 inch down, and then just glue it to each side. And I'll go ahead and use some Tombow. There we go. All right, so from a 1/2 inch down, I'm going to, on both sides, I'm going to glue, and I'll glue one of the ends first. And I'm actually going to glue it to the side that has the folds on it. So on the side of it where the diagonal folds are, I put one of those down. And I line up that 1/2 inch mark on both sides right below the top of the basket. Okay. Now sometimes you can skew it left or right. I find that if I just set it right on my line, and I can kind of make sure I'm just lined up straight with the basket. All right, I'll just hold it there for a minute. And then I'll go ahead and do the other side. So let me turn it over. Oop. And that's why I like the wet glue. It gives me a little bit of a wiggle room or finagle room until I make sure that all my handles are straight. All right, same with the other side. Let's go ahead and just put those in there and glue them to the inside of the basket. All right, I'm just going to put it up for a second, make sure I've got it straight. Okay, so now I've got that handled. I think they're very sweet. I'm going to put that side up with Whisper White, and I've got my pretty label punch. And I'll go ahead and punch a label out. I think I have a fold on that side. Let me go to this side. I'll go ahead and punch my label out. All right, next I just feed the end of it in, and I make sure I keep the label parallel, and I just extend it as far or as near as I want. You can make some really cute little labels. You know, that would be a cute one. I want a little bit of a piece in the middle of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and just take a look on that one. Cut it that way so I have a little bit of a bump on the center of it on both sides. I think that just makes it look adorable. For a tranquil tide for the Celebrate, move that down a little so I can see. The first part of the flower with Daffodil Delight. The detail part of the flower with Close-O Coral. Move it down a little bit so I can see it. And I'm just going to use a little bit of a Post-it note with my 1/2 inch circle punch to make a little mask, so I can do a couple leaves as well. And I'm doing those with Old Olive. All right, let me do one more leaf, and then let me pull off the mask. All right, let me just take some of the shimmer ribbon and make a bow. All right, that looks good. Just a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks great. Let me go ahead and snip it off with my ribbon scissors. Go ahead and just snip it off. Alright, so I'm going to use some glue dots to put them onto the side of my basket. And I'll put this on first. And I'll just put a glue dot on each of the, I'll call them the shoulders, but each of the little bumps there. Underside, because I'm going to put it across the basket handle. Alright, so I'm going to put it across like this. And then I'll just put the ribbon above it. Alright, I think that's very sweet. I hope you enjoyed the project today and give it a try. It's really quick and easy, and the origami folds are pretty straightforward. If you need more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And if you liked the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe so you can see new videos as they come out. I would really appreciate that. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!